A fine, full, dignified beard.
So that's number one, Chuck's Big Week. Number two, Chuck's Big Week. Last weekend, I started my convention warm-up, if you will, at Mohegan Sun Casino. I spent 2 wonderful days, Saturday and Sunday, enjoying CT's #1 Comic-Con, Terrificon. Mitch Halleck presents. Mitch is a podcaster and Comic-Con aficionado of several decades. And he puts on this great event. Big. 2 gigantic fucking panel rooms that I don't think I saw full at any point during the weekend. It easily could have been 4 panel rooms. Huge fucking exhibitors floor. Like a football field at least. Like huge exhibitors floor. My daughter and me had a great time on Saturday. She got a chance to meet Tay Conti, who is actually going to be at Astronomicon next week, and I'm very excited to see her again. That interaction with my daughter during both the pro photo op and the subsequent table visit was amazing. Tay is an incredible fucking human being and a top tier convention guest. Everybody I saw there was a top tier convention guest. Some of the cooler shit. Shouts to my homeboy Jordan, who's been a guest on the show. He was at Terrificon working the booth that had the DeLorean available for photo ops. So they had like the DeLorean, your Ghostbusters car, your 1960s Batman car, and your Jurassic Park Jeep that you could take pictures in for a price. They had like a mock setup of the Lost Ark from Raiders of the Lost Ark. You could take pictures in front of that. They had a Graboid from the movie Tremors. That was a cool little installation. They had a big ass OG comic, Thanos. Things I noticed that were problems. There seems to be a disconnect between Terrificon and the guests that Terrificon books and the people that Terrificon brings in. And what I mean by that is the entire cast of Land of the Lost was there. Now, I'm 40 and I don't give a fuck about Land of the Lost. Like that's even too old for me to give a fuck about. So your 19 to 25-year-old person who typically enjoys the convention space nowadays, they have no connection to those characters. They have no connection to those actors and actresses. So those guests, for the majority of your most financially viable constituents, there's no connection there. So they're useless. The big get at Terrificon this weekend was Michael Rooker from Guardians of the Galaxy and Mallrats and things like that. And he's a convention staple and he's a good guest. But for as much as the tickets cost, he was the only guest besides the wrestling guests that was really up to date. Like I said, you Land of the Lost people, that's fine. He had gotten the boy from Blue Lagoon. If anybody knows what Blue Lagoon, but I barely know Blue Lagoon. I'm barely old enough to know Blue Lagoon. And like that dude was there. A couple people from some soap operas were there. The one guy that I kind of got excited about was the Highlander from the Highlander USA TV show. He was there. But other than that, the guests were kind of on the more older side, and that's in keeping with Mitch, I guess. Mitch comes from the old school of comics, and that was shown in the vendor area too, because when you go to cons now, cons are quite a mixture of stuff now. In the 80s, and most of the 90s mostly, Comic Cons were like one thing. There weren't many guests, right? The guests you did get were either low tier or older. And it was just hundreds of fucking boxes of comic books as far as the eye can see. And it smells like dusty paper. And it's dudes digging through boxes looking for rarities. That is not what your normal, up-to-date, like, current comic convention looks like. It's not. your current comic convention is more akin to Astronomicon or even New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con, even something with Comic Con in the name. It's far more multimedia than Terrificon seemed. Terrificon seemed to be gripping onto certain aspects of the older pre-con Renaissance way of doing Comic-Con business. And it's not bad or good. It's just the way it is. But I think, given the venue, which is awesome, Mohegan Sun Casino is an awesome venue, given the size, given the amount of money he's clearly making off all those vendors and all the people who came in, I think picking something other than the stuff you grew up watching is the move. Like, I feel like Mitch just picked a bunch of people he knew. And it's like, you're not going to make any headway. Like, this is the first year I'd ever heard about this con. And apparently this con's been going on for some time. So, I hope that in future years, like next year, that Terrificon can improve, that Terrificon can update some of the way it does business, and it can update some of its guest policy. I had a great time, though. Both fucking days. Had a fantastic motherfucking time. Shouts to the whole staff at Terrificon. Shout out to Mitch, the king of the nerds, as they call him. I saw him running around like a fucking crazy person. It's an amazing thing he pulled off. Especially so close to reopening, so to speak. So, what do you guys think? Do you think some of these cons, like, are like gripping on to some older shit? Like, part of the thing, like, there was a vibe that I was getting almost of the Angry Video Game, not Angry Video Game Nerd, but the Angry Comic Book Nerd from The Simpsons. Like, there was a little bit of that. And there were a lot of dusty boxes of comics. And I just don't think your current pop culture fandom general convention, such as a Comic-Con, has as much to do with comics as it once did. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, hit those comments. I want to know what you think. I don't talk to myself. Like, I hope you guys know that. I know you guys think I just like to argue, and that's partially true. I do like to argue. But I want to learn. And anybody could have something to teach me. So if you have something to teach me, drop that shit in the comments, man. I want to see it. I want to hear about it. I want to read it. I want to learn it. I want to put it in this fucking empty ass head of mine. Like, help me out.